In this lesson, we'll create a simple mass of our roof structure. Okay, so in this course, we're going to be working in the conceptual massing environment and also a little bit in the family environment to create some more complex structural forms. A lot of what we know in the conceptual environment is a lot of extrusions and sweeps and bends and things of that nature. But you could create some really unique forms and solids and voids, but you can also create some really cool structural systems. So what you see here on the screen is going to be our end result, or something as close to this as possible. This is a little system I put together. It's a bus stop or transportation stop, kind of made out of a truss system or space frame system there, if you will. So to get started, we're going to start in our massing environment. So I'm just going to go to Revit here, and we're going to open up a conceptual massing file. And we're just going to go with a generic one here. And the first thing I like to do is I like to get my reference planes in place so I can begin setting up my form. So basically the outline of my form is going to be set with reference planes. So the first thing I need to do is set my reference plane. If you begin placing reference planes without first setting your reference plane, you're going to find it to be a little bit frustrating because you're going to have floating reference planes that might be below the work plane you want it to be, or maybe even above. So make it a good habit of always setting your work planes first. It's going to save you a lot of headache and frustration. So I'm going to go ahead and set my work plane. It'll be this level here. And now all I'm going to do is simply draw in some more reference planes. So I'm going to select reference plane here at the top. And the form of my, as you could tell from that image, is kind of a sweeping, curvy, triangular form. So that'll be kind of what I'll be aiming for with my reference planes here. I don't have any specific dimensions in mind, as right now I'm kind of in a conceptual phase, but I definitely know the form that I'm aiming for. So I'm simply going to sketch this out here in the 3D view. And I'm going to make sure I snap at all my endpoints here. And again, I'm going to create, it's like a sweeping right triangular form that's going to have some curves to it as well. So I'm going to bring this down as close to that point as I can, and we'll close that off. So if I wanted to, I could select all these and create a simple surface, but I don't want to create a simple surface. I want this to have a nice, elegant curve to it and a sweeping look. So to do that, we're going to set some reference points, and also we're going to be working with some splines, and I'm going to show you some really cool ways to create forms other than just using your basic extrusions or sweeps. So we're going to start working with some of our reference points. So again, just to make sure, I'm going to go ahead and set again my reference plane there. And I'm going to select a point here, and I'm going to make sure this is going to be a reference point. So basically, I want 3 reference points. How we'll set it up, we'll set 3 here, 3 running along the middle, and then 3 running along this top. So I'm going to go ahead and draw on work plane, and I'm just going to snap these guys into place. And I'm going to try my best to find the midpoint of this one. And we're going to do the same here. So we'll do 1 there, 1 here, and 1 there. And then we'll finish it off here on the top. 1 here. We'll do 1 kind of towards the middle there, closer to the middle there. Let's go ahead and move this one over. So now the good thing is once you put these points in place, you can actually move them simply by highlighting. So I'm going to highlight that one, and I can simply move this one over just a bit if I needed to. So now all I need to do is set an offset, basically to create, essentially I want to create 3 curved lines here. 1 there, 1 here, and 1 there. And then we'll later create a form from those 3 simple splines. But before I'm able to do that, I'm going to go ahead and offset this middle so that when we're creating our spline, we actually have the very peak of our curve there set. So I'm going to set that to an offset here. We'll say maybe we want that curve. We don't want it to curve too much, but we definitely want it to be noticeable. So we could say maybe 3 feet. And I'll type that in as my offset, and you can see that that offset automatically occurs there. And I'm going to do the same for these other 2 here, but I'm going to kind of go up. Here will be 3, we'll do 4 here, and then 5 here to kind of exaggerate that a little bit. So again, I'm going to go to my offset, and we'll do 4 feet, and apply. I'm going to do the same thing here. Go to my offset, 4 feet, apply. So now that I have all my points in place, we can now draw our splines. So Remember what I said. Make it good practice to always set your plane before we start. So let's take a look at this real quick. We have 3 reference planes we're working with. So we have 1, 2, and 3. So for the first one, I'm going to go ahead and hit set. That'll be my work plane. And now I can really quickly draw my spline in here simply by snapping into place. Now, had I not set my work plane, you'll notice that your points won't actually snap into place, and you'll have lines kind of going all over in the space. So it's definitely a must to work with your reference planes here. So again, we'll set this reference plane. We'll use a spline, and we'll create our curved surface here. And I'll hit modify to get out of that, or I could hit escape to get out of that. And again, we'll go set, front, top there, spline, there, middle. I'll drop it down. You know what? I think I want to exaggerate this just a bit. Now, the cool thing is you can also continue to alter these lines after you create them. So I can get that and simply drag that up, and you'll notice my form. So now I've kind of exaggerated that just a little bit more. So now that we have those 3 elements in place, I can select all 3. And I'm going to hit create form here at the top. And we've created a really basic form for our roof. So in the next lesson, we're going to divide this surface up, and we're going to learn how to really turn this into a structure. So I'll see you in the next lesson.